Hello, YouTube viewers. Welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about carbon credit scam. So let's dive deep into it. So basically, what was this idea? The idea was, what if companies or people can get a penalty for the CO2 they are releasing? Basically, we targeted 1 ton of CO2, which is not that much. So basically, if you're burning fuel, you get a penalty. So the idea was, because of this penalty, people will figure out a way to burn less fuel. Now, what happens to that money that you have captured? Well, that money will go into companies that are working on removing or sequestering CO2, and they will get paid for it. For example, this allows a division of labor, which again is a very good concept on principle in this regard, where it's like, hey, airlines focus on airlines, or coal power plant focus on this coal power plant thing, and someone else is gonna figure out something else regarding CO2, and they need money. You're gonna pay them. You're only gonna take care of your thing, they're gonna take care of their thing, everybody wins. So that's the whole point. And we'll create a market for it. So basically, everybody is there, everybody is competing with each other, so progress, growth, all of the jazz will happen, and people can focus on doable things now rather than waiting or figuring things out. It's like, do right now. So that was the idea on paper, whereas basically industry will pay the money for companies that are planting forest or doing things, and that money will give them the credit, and that credit they will show to the government. So that will be a circular economic kind of scenario. So that was the idea. On paper, it sounds 10% useful. Now let's understand the history of it. Now, this whole idea of offsetting your problem, the first anchor of this happened in 1977, Clean Air Act. They started with this in USA with emission offset. Now, you have to understand, while people are skeptical about CO2, they are not skeptical about pollutants. Everybody's like, no, pollution is a real thing. So in 1970s, USA was polluted as hell. They were bad. Like if they did not have fixed them, they would have poofed themselves out of existence. That's how bad it was. And this is the time where a lot of marches were done. Like a lot of people got together and really tried to solve this problem. And this is the time where the first time I'm seeing it is that if you are not part of the solution, you are part of the pollution. I think nowadays this changed the pollution to problem. So this is what got things in motion. And in 1977, they created a unique idea. The idea was, because company needed time to change their ecosystem and change the toolings and all that and all the system they will do. So not all companies will be able to do that. But again, newer companies that were just established, they were already ahead. So they created a baseline. If you are above this, there is a penalty. But here's the deal. Instead of being shut down, you're like, hey, you can either you do not do anything, we'll shut you down, or you can buy credits from the company. So basically, if you are producing 100 tons of steel and you, let's just say, have this 5 tons of pollutants, and you are producing 6 tons, versus a new company that started everything new, better technology, they are only producing 1 ton of pollutants rather than 5 tons, which was allocated. The 4 tons will be able to be sold to anyone else. And again, brick by brick, day by day, they will increase the total limit. But this will give them more business time, more collaboration and all that. And ironically, it sort of worked. Sort of, but it did work in 1977. So this idea, people were mulling over it, and there were a lot of sub attempts that was done. People were trying things out. 1992, UNFCCC signed United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was done, and in 1997 Kyoto Protocol adopted. This puppy happened. And by 2000s, regional greenhouse gas initiatives were created, again state by state in USA, in other places also. By 2005, EU also got into that. So emission trading system was established, meaning EU countries can be like, hey, Germany, let's just say they are producing pollution in their car factories, and somebody in Sweden can buy it, basically sell credit for it, so to say. So that was done. And by 2021, COP26 Article 6 rule was finalized. So basically, a lot of paperwork is being done, and from long ago, paperwork has been done. People were trying to take this seriously, and nothing happened. This is the ironic part. Like sometimes if things are only happening on bureaucracy, you should realize that it does not work. But yeah, it does not work. Again, every year they have like this meeting, we had this and that, and we signed this and that. It's like outcome is nothing, but this has been happening for quite some time. And there was like so many, I could not fit in all the slide. And again, you can Google it and look into all the Accords publications. Yeah, it's a self-congratulation, self-certification kind of thing right now. Now, what are the methods? That was the idea. What is the method they used? The method was first they will have one core categories, avoidance or reduction credits. Now, the idea with this is basically, if you need energy, you need energy. The end. There is no discussion. But here's the, if you want a 1 megawatt hour coming from coal, it's far dirtier compared to 1 megawatt hour coming from solar. Now, you may be like, wouldn't making that solar panels will cause pollution? No, not anymore. Now, again, if you know anything about engineering, this should be obvious to you. This should be duh. Like our mobile phone used to be 2 kilograms. Now they are like, 100 grams. Duh. It happens. Like once you have competition, more people working on it, efficiency improves, design improves, brick by brick, day by day, things become more efficient. So the early days solar panels were really, really bad in terms of the CO2 output. Basically, it was not worth making. It was only worth making it for, solar panels in satellites. But slowly, over time, brick by brick, they started to reduce their offset. At this point in time, if you buy, let's say, a solar farm and you get energy out of it, that energy is the cleanest that it could have been. Like there is almost nothing that can give you that amount of energy with least amount of carbon footprint, which includes nuclear. For some reason, people forget how much concrete nuclear takes and how much money and fuel and energy and other stuff that you do not account for is spent yearly, every year, till it goes poof. So yeah. So fundamentally, solar panels have reached that. What about wind? Wind is slowly reaching that point. So people are like, oh, the wind takes so much energy to make one turbine. Yes, like duh. Like, duh, that's how it's supposed to happen. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, compare your car from Henry Ford's T model. It takes time to refine the technology. It takes time to refine the concept of it. Basically, we used to have like 2 turbine blades, and it's like, yeah, nah, that's dumb. Now we have 3. We're not gonna have to have 4 because again, we tried that and we figured out 3 is the best. So let's go with 3. And then we realized economically it makes more sense to make it bigger. So we started with 2 megawatt turbine, which was very carbon polluting, to slowly reaching a point where we are reaching 11. Basically, anything that is 10 megawatt or up and put into place, basically like offshore wind farms, they're good. Their carbon footprint is like, yeah, you will get like it's not as clean as solar, not yet, but they are reaching a point where it's like, yeah, they have made a point where it's like, yeah, it's actually better to do wind. Again, did not happen on day one. Same way. Remember, your phones were 2 kilograms. So that's how the idea is that if you put renewable money into renewable energy projects like this, it's a good thing. And then we have methane capture. You have to understand, in global warming, you have a problem that is CO2, and then you have death, which we call methane. Methane is 20x more powerful and more potent greenhouse gas compared to basically CO2. It's actually better for the environment that if you just poof methane by oxidizing it, basically you will only get 1 CO2. Is like, yeah, good. So the idea is, why not we just dissolve, break down all the methane into carbon dioxide and water vapor? Well, who will pay for it? Like all the landfill, we know there is methane, but there is not generally not enough, and sealing was not done well enough where it's like it properly oxidizes, properly makes enough of methane that allows us to run power plants. That's not there. So again, who will do the drilling, the plumbing, and the selection, and then the furnace, and then all that? Nobody's going to do it. But if you have credit score for that, people will do that, and tada! So methane capture for landfills. Then you are talking about energy efficiency upgrades for large things. Basically, let's say you did something like my personal favorite one that is actually good is putting solar shades in places of car parks. Basically, you have a car park, you put solar shade, everybody wins. So something like that. And then you have dumb ideas like efficient cooktops for poor people, and somehow people fell for it in India. And I'm not joking. That was like everybody was like, "Whoa, this is amazing." The idea was that in India, a lot of poor people use wood in like actual stone cooking tops. Basically, they have 3 stones, put a pot on top of it, and cook food in that. And again, they are so poor that they cannot afford LPG cylinders or things of this nature. So in those sort of scenarios, they're going to give them better stove, like actual stove, wood stove, where you can put wood into it, and it will come like focus more of the energy into cooking the food rather than just like wasting it. So you will consume less wood, less deforestation will happen. Everybody will win. Yeah, it did not work, but we'll discuss that further. And that's the part of avoidance or reduction. And then we come to removal credit, the like actual solution part. It's basically reforestation or afforestation. The idea is like you plant a new forest or you stop deforestation. So those 2 puppies. Then you have soil carbon capture sequestration system, and then you have direct air capture plus storage. So these are the 2 core categories: removal and reduction. So On paper it sounds good, right? On paper it sounds good. Hey, you are reducing it, you are removal, at least reduction, most people were skeptical, but removal does sound logical, because again, if let's just say by some magical miracle technology somebody figured out how to do direct air capture, which again, if you have magical miracle technology, you are already rich, you do not have to worry about money. But let's just say you have that magic technology and you are worried about money, this could help. But so that's the idea of it, that's the toolkit that was employed. Now let's talk about reality. Yeah, it's just number fudging for profit. Like, this was the worst idea. Like, this is the as worst idea as plastic recycling. That was the single worst idea humanity has ever come up with. It's like, that's the reason why we have plastic, microplastic in our bodies. It's like, people were warning. It's like, bro, plastic is too cheap because it's a very low energy content, meaning it takes very little amount of energy to make plastic. That's why it's so cheap. You take all the plastic, you send it into a cooker and you cook it without oxygen, which we call basically you cook it in such a way where the long molecular chain breaks down into liquid molecular chain. Basically solid goes down to liquid, and then you have hydrocarbon. That hydrocarbon you can combust. It was basically a crude oil product. You are making it into refined sort of crude oil, and then you can burn it, and like it will give CO2. But here's the deal: CO2 is far easier to deal with than microplastic in human blood. So that was a very bad idea. Plastic pyrolysis, look into it if you want to figure it out. It was known from 1970, but like somehow humanity decided, what if we F ourselves? So that was bad. And same thing is happening here. It's like removal credits. Let's look into it. So conservatories are selling the woods, and I'm like, conservatory simply means by the law of the land, be it India, be it Nepal, be it whatever. By the law of the land, this forest will not be touched. That's the whole point of conservatory. And somehow they are selling it as like, oh, it's in danger. It's like, it's a conservatory and it's been there from 1990s. You will not touch it. It's not under danger. That's the whole point of it. And if it is under danger, it's not a conservatory. So you're already you are lying either in one or the other. Reality, they were lying. It was just like, lol, and we're gonna take money and we are gonna F the customer. So that happened. Conservatory. They were actually selling the things that were already there. So basically stamping a new label on the trees. And another aspect was all the new forests that they planted. Yeah, most of them are already cut down. Yeah, we were doing in 2000s, and I'm pretty sure you must have seen all the YouTube videos. It's like, they plant a tree here. Yeah, they plant it, and then few years later, so all the CO2 that went up goes back up again. So yeah, that's completely useless. And avoidance and reduction. Now here's the, this is the worst thing that could have been done, because it's like a double dipping in solar, wind, hydro. And again, ironic part is hydro dams. There are hydro dams that are getting carbon credits that have been there from like 50 years. It's like it was there. People are going to build it. People do, again, for example, even in India, people are doing solar not because we give a damn about environment, because we cannot deal with other way. But for example, I have to do solar rooftop in my house. Again, right now I have a small plant that is 2 kilowatt. I need a much bigger one, like 10, to take care of everything. And again, solar panels are not expensive. Not even the inverter. It's the freaking batteries that are ludicrously expensive. Trust me, if the battery prices came down, I'm gonna get it tomorrow. But right now it's not viable for me. So people are doing that simply because electricity in some places are very bad, and the places where it is good, it is expensive enough where it's like, yeah, it's logical. And in some places where like it's hot, having a shade helps. So everybody is doing solar. You do not need to give incentivizing. Like, solar has crossed that Rubicon of threshold where it's like, yeah, bro, we done, we good. Solar is gonna go on its own. It's already happening. So that one, it does not. And again, same goes for wind. It does not matter. Like, it does not need any help. It's already sorted, and you want things to be sorted. That means it's self-fulfilling. It's like, oh, you put solar, you found profit from it, more people look into it, and more people like, hey, let's do that, rather than, oh, double dipping. So double dipping simply basically makes the solar farm owners more richer, and they're not putting money into like basically better development. They're putting money on things that are already making money. Nobody is building solar farm for research and development. They are building solar farm to make money. If it was like, you're gonna, every time you do something new and cutting edge, we're gonna give you credit. It's not even like that. If it's like, again, thing will make it far more awesome if they were logical people. It's like, hey, you have solar farm, awesome. Do PVT panel installation and figure out what to do with that waste heat, which again will make your solar cells last longer. And if you have something productive to do with that heat, that would be awesome. That would have been awesome. Or if you wanted to invest in particle accelerators, so we can cut silicon slices far more thin, and basically ingot. Basically, you have ginormous ingot, and you can improve the yield. Almost 2x the yield can happen. Basically, same amount of silicon, but you get 2x the solar panels out of it. No, not on that. It's like, oh, you have the farm. Here's your money. It's like, I'm already making money. Why you're double dipping it? Hydro was the most lawless. Like those dams are old, ancient dams. They are getting carbon credits. So that's double dipping. That's really, really bad. And then we have direct air carbon capture, which again, if you believe in that, I got a bridge to sell you. Because again, same thing with plastic. If it was, that is like if plastic was worth recycling, it would have been expensive. Like how aluminum is expensive, how glass is expensive, because they are worth recycling. If something is expensive, it's worth recycling. If something is cheap, you are forcefully making it expensive in order to justify recycling. Which again, we have learned the hard way that plastic pyrolysis would happen much better, 10 times much better. But no, we shall put microplastic in our babies because yeah. Oh, and forest fire are the thing. So even if, let's just assume this conservatories, and somehow people actually forgot that forest fires are a naturally occurring thing, which is getting enhanced because of global warming. So what happens then? What happens then? Oh yeah, you actually add more to it. Basically, it does not matter. Basically, nothing. Just rich people get more richer, you'd get dumber. Nothing else happens. So the reality of it is either people are doing double dipping, or people are trailing jokes, or you're trolling. Nothing else is happening. That's the truth on ground reality from 1990. Now, this is why I said like this video, actually, this presentation actually took a lot of anger out of me. It's like, damn, it made me angry. Simply because we are wasting. We know that. That's the tragic part of it. Everybody knows that. It's like we are just wasting time and money. And here's the no amount of money in this world can buy a single second of time. Once you burn money, you no longer have money. And once you spend time, you no longer have time. So this greenwashing, basically, I'll give you an example. It's what is better? If you have airlines, let's just say Indigo Airlines. You have this airlines, it's like, yeah, how do we reduce our carbon footprint? A, solve the problem. B, troll. So right now everybody's like, what if troll? Like, oh, it's not solvable. 10,000 ways are there to solve it. For example, I'll give you a small one that is already under construction, but because of bureaucracy and people are like, we have to actually change things. It's like, put electric motors on the nose wheel. Like, does that matter? Yes. Like, yes, that's how big of an impact it will make. And again, to be fair, people are working on it. It's like, put credit there. It will actually help, because here's the deal. If you take fuel consumption, let's say fuel is F, and divided by the distance, plane consumes surprisingly little for surprisingly long distance. Like if you take 400 kilometers and you add speed to it, it's like, damn, it's efficient. Then most of the fuel, where is burn? Yeah, when it's actually on the land. It's like, why would it burn fuel? Yeah, because it can't taxi. So basically, if they have a tow truck, they will only take it out of the terminal buildings. Then it's like, go there. Using main engines that are designed for high altitude flight, burn them on here. That destroys them because of the debris ingestion. So majority of damage happen during that time. You burn fuel because it's not efficient. So that was the idea. Just from that point, basically you land, you turn off the engine, you start the APU and just go. That will save fuel. Everybody knows this. But instead of focusing on that, fast tracking it, which we are mindful, it's already there. People are working on it. It's just like, rather than solving the problem or at least reducing it, what if we created some BS of about like, what if we planted some trees in some South Africa which people will already harvest in 2 years from now? Solving the problem, running away from the problem. People will run away from the problem. So that's the whole point. I have no idea how the heck humanity became this brain dead, where it's like, oh, this is a hard problem. It's like, isn't that awesome? Like, think about it this way. Imagine our ancestors, when they were confronted by something known as polio, they were like, oh, this is a hard problem. No, they were like, okay, this is a problem. This is here. Let's work our ass off to fix this. Like, you have no idea what level of collaboration worldwide happened to make sure polio is in past tense. Like, imagine same thing that happened in during pandemic. If like people are like, oh, it's so hard. It's like, no, you work your ass off. That's why you have this 1.5 kilogram of biomatter supercomputer. It's like, you're supposed to be looking at a problem and then we're like, now I get to prove myself. That's why we have education. Your education is not there in the school books. So you're like, oh, we're going to do the same thing that we have done in 1970. You're supposed to improve. That's the whole point. And we're like, oh, it will create more problems. That's awesome. That means your children will have their problems to tackle with. That would be awesome. They're like, oh, like, do you respect someone who's like, everything is fed to them? Or you respect someone who's like, dude, hell came for you and you are like, nah, bro, we're going to turn on the AC. So that's the whole point. I have no idea how the heck this happened to humanity. It's like every time, oh, it's so hard. I'm like, Rudolf Diesel solved the problem, man. It's not hard. It's just trolling. You're trolling. It's not a hard problem to solve. It's like, oh, how do we make aviation carbon neutral, net zero, all those fake thing, or you can just run it on seaweed biofuel. Like, we can solve the problem, or we can just do a lol, 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 lol. So all the problems have been solved by 2020, long ago, like before that, by the way, practically speaking. But we are just like, what? Why do work? Why not just buy carbon credit? And protecting or planting forest does nothing, because CO2 became a problem because forest could not handle it. That's the whole point. That's why we have CO2 as a problem. Plants cannot handle it. Basically, if you built a time machine, you went into 1990, it had more forest than it is now, and you just stop it there. It's like, thou shall not trim down even a single tree, we still would be cooked. Forests cannot handle it. So I have no idea how the heck this. And again, every botanist, every conservatory person, they know this. They know this for a fact that we have crossed, I think in 2008 or something like that. I used to read that in articles where it's like, now Earth has crossed a Rubicon, where it's like basically we are burning more than Earth is naturally sequestering. We crossed that threshold long ago. So this has no idea. And not to mention, all the forests that you have planted is like, it does nothing, simply because you are keep repolluting. You are increasing the concentration of CO2. Nothing is changing. And all the CO2 that you put into forest, it will be re-released, because again, as planet heats up, because you are not reducing the CO2, it will die. Eventually, all forest will die, because they are reaching a point where the temperature is too high. And you're like, okay, forest is cooler. Forest is cooler because it evaporates water. Which place you have seen where there is enough underground water reservoirs where forest can keep lasting? Nowhere. So they're gonna die eventually, and all the CO2 that was there and all the methane, you're gonna have so much methane. It's like, it's gonna be awesome. It's like nobody even planned for it. It's like, what happens during natural forest fire? It's like, nothing. We just like all the carbon, again, that's why reduction solves the problem. Running away just kicks the can down the road, and voila. And now it's unsolvable, because you could have made a better difference, but no. So all the forest fire decay, all of those things are a hell of a thing. And then you have double dipping, which only increases profit of people. Like now there are rich people who have yacht going inside their yacht. What the hell? Like, how badly do you want to burn this world down, where it's like, you know what? I have a yacht. Me cool, but not cool enough. What if I want a bigger yacht where I can take my smaller yacht? Like fundamentally. And the thing that actually made me like really lose hope is that everybody knows this. This is not a hidden thing. This is like from day one, people, engineers, scientists, and conservatory people, every Tom, Dick, and Harry who does not get paid from this is like, yeah, what are you smoking, man? Like, dude, just do cocaine, man. It's better, better for your health. It's like, that's how bad it is. Everybody knows. Not a single investigative journalism, oh, it actually works. Not a single one. All of them, 100% of them is lies, all of them. And somehow everybody is like, more BS. And like every year, India is going to get into this. I'm like, don't we have enough problems where you want to add this BS? And we have technology and time. Yes, like plain I saw it. Like there are only two technology you have to do. It just that motor thing that will reduce CO2 footprint right now, and then again it will have fundamental benefits. And then if you start to do seaweed biofuel, that will do. Seaweed biofuel is also the only technology that can do carbon capture, because it's basically doing the same thing that nature did, just faster. So we have the technology and the time. Everybody knows this. That's the tragic part of it. Everybody knows this. Like you can talk all the day or all the forestation, or just replace all the useless refrigerant with useful refrigerants, like for example, propane, butane, or ammonia. That will have much bigger impact than all the hulululu in the world. All of the hulululu. You just do these things. So fundamentally, just tech and time all are being utilized, basically wasted. That's the painful part. And basically old rich people will die rich at this point in time. They are already in 50s and 60s, and basically will inherit an unfixable problem. Problem is not unfixable yet, but if we keep doing this, it will become unfixable. Basically, it's like a dam has already cracked to its core. Now you're trying to fix it, it's unfixable. It's like, if it was like the moment first crack appears, you seal it, done, who cares? But you wait, if it keeps expanding, thermal expansion, contraction, then it goes to the core, yeah, dead. So same thing, like, how your teeth is there. If you detect the black spot, directly go to dentist grinds it away, fills it, done, good. If you wait for it to hurt, yeah, you did. They have to drill it out. So same thing. Fundamentally, like, how the heck everybody is just talking about it. It's like, yeah, we know this is BS, but let's add more BS to it. It's like everybody, every country with their mouth, and they're not drunk. I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is truly tragic. It's like, it's not even a secret. It's like, duh. That cooked up thing is like, they forgot, like if you actually improve the system, they are, because they are underutilized, they will cook more. Turns out the more wood was burned. I'm like, it would have been better to invest into basically some sort of cheap biogas plant there. it would have made more of an impact, actual impact. But no, that will be solving the problem. Running away the problem is better. Carbon credit. So this was my presentation on the carbon credit scam. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me excitement. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.